inside the NBA. All right, here we go. Highlights: Houston and the Clippers. And this game 4 in a 2-1 series with the Clips leading, and right away, Dwight Howard not happy, and Dwight Howard gets an early tee.
Tell you what, he got lucky here and putting his hands on the official. He got lucky.
Well, the official put his hands on him first.
No, not right. No, he didn't.
Yeah, he was putting his hands on him.
No, he didn't.
He was trying to put his hands on him, and again, he should put his hands on him. He didn't do that.
A minor point. Chris Paul.
Oh. Tell you what, boy.
15 and 12 for CP3. Here comes the hack.
Hack of Jordan.
The hack strategy.
Get some music, Kenny.
I also, Shaq, I'm going to have to disagree with you. I think the hack of Jordan worked.
In what way?
Well, they would have won by 50 if he had made it a free throw.
No, you know what the real reason is? You can't hack a Jordan when you got 3 or 4 guys that can't shoot either. So what happens is that when you have the ball on offense, you got this guy underneath the basket, Josh Smith, guys who can't score in the game. So you don't have an advantage.
Oh, you saw Trevor Ariza. And so Houston on top at this point, 37-35, and now they're not ahead anymore because
great defense by the Rockets. Kenny Smith turning over.
Jamal Crawford knocked that one down.
Jim Peterson turning over in his grave.
Austin
right
Rivers.
Looked like Curly Neal on that one.
Yeah. Rich Petruska is rolling over.
Oh, I know what that's going to happen was. What happened?
How about Matt? What's Matt Maloney doing?
Oh, Matt Maloney's rolling over in his grave.
That's called a rim check.
Tim Bros rolling over in his grave right now.
Tracy Murray rolling over in his grave.
Oh, you got Tracy Murray in there. Tracy Murray shout out.
Nice reach right there.
Yeah. I was going to go with the...
Mario Elliott rolling over in his grave.
Oh, no, that's not a reach, though. You got to have guys who...
Yeah, you're right. I should.
Granville Waiters.
I better leave Mario Elliott alone.
Clippers 60-54 at the half.
I was always worried about him coming in and shooting up the locker room.
By the way,
that's why I love playing with him.
Oh my goodness, DeAndre Jordan, by the way, setting a record with 28.
I love you, Mario. Yeah. I was just joking. It was a joke.
Look at the DeAndre Jordan show here in the third quarter.
That's why.
Ernie, remember what I said to you?
That's why you got to foul me.
Ernie, you remember what I said to you before the game? That's the biggest problem. They ain't got but one. Oh my God.
Yeah.
They ain't got but one shot blocker, and every time White comes up, that's open all night.
It was a 29-7 Clipper run, and that picture kind of tells the story on the Houston side of things. And then Blake Griffin.
Why don't you kiss him next time? That was a little baby kiss.
And Blake very concerned about
he shouldn't be
our cameraman underneath the basket.
Get out the way.
Second technical for D. Howard. And man alive, mercifully this one ends 128-95. The Clippers with a 3-1 lead in the series. They've scored 117, 109, 124, and now 128.
Yeah, thanks to you telling them what a great defensive team they were.
So somehow this is getting laid at my doorstep.
When you bragging about their defense
last week? I wasn't bragging
week?
about their defense. I was just saying the analysis, the statistical analysis, the analytics.
Dead wrong.
Showing them as the number 6 in defensive efficiency in the regular season, which has not carried over into this series.
Well, if they were that
Coors Light, cold, hard facts.
Hey, Ernie,
facts,
just
man.
because you're the best-looking guy up here out of 4 doesn't mean you're good-looking.
Thank you, Ernie.
So just because you're a good number 6 does not mean you play deep. And that's the same thing. It's the margin of error is just too much.
Yeah, so, you see the difference in the San Antonio and the Houston series.
Why do you have your belt out, Shaq?
Because the Rockets got that ass whooped tonight. Exactly what it was. You don't even have to.
Ernie, I tell you to get back on defense. Didn't I tell you to rotate? Ernie, I will tell you this one thing.
Tell me this.
Sometimes the team just beat you. And Reggie had one of his 3 things for the Rockets to get back in this series. The Rockets have not competed at all this series, going back to game 1. And they came out the same way in game 2, and they've obviously got mauled the last few games. But that's probably been the most disappointing thing for me. They have not competed at all.
I agree. And then the lack of competition and effort, on the defensive end, which you saw in the Dallas series, honestly. But the biggest thing is, and I keep hitting this dead horse, but when you go to a hack of anything, because the Rockets have 3 guys, and Dwight Howard, Josh Smith, that they can't put in the game at the same time either. So all of a sudden, you foul Jordan, but you have in the game Capella, Prigioni, and Costas. So even when you get the ball, you can't score. So if you're Golden State did it, let's say, or like when San Antonio did it, they still have their 5 core guys who can put the ball in the basket. So you have a percentage lead against it. But when you have playing Hacker Jordan and you can't score because you can't put your best 5 guys on the floor because they get fouled as well, it doesn't work that way.
Question.
So I agree with that.
Let me see your stat sheet here. We just wanted to check the number of free throws that the Clippers shot tonight.
They shot way too.
37 for 63.
That's a lot.
63
I just got a
free throw
question for you,
attempts in
Kenny.
this game.
Have you ever beat a dead horse?
Yes, that means that you're doing something you shouldn't do. That's the analogy. You're
I-
doing something that you shouldn't do.
'Cause every
If the
time I
horse
hear
is
that-
alive, you beat it to move. But if you can, like I'm talking about something that maybe should just let it go and not talk about.
You should let that one go.
Okay,
Beat a dead horse.
Okay, but understand the analogy, man. Just understand. Okay, it's not you're beating a
That's
dead
an
horse.
Auburn
You should-
University education right there.
Okay, take me back to the Houston drawing board now for Game 5 in your gym.
Well, one, they got to have better concentration, better defensive effort. I mean, you know, their front line can't guard anybody. Their guards are terrible. You know, that's why DeAndre Jordan getting these easy lob dunks. Like he's not even really part of the offense, but he's getting 6, 7, 8 points on lob because defense can't guard people, and they just got to come out and just play. I know you bleeped out those analytical stats, but these guys are awful.
I have a question for you.
How about 26?
No, but I have one for you.
26 and 17 for
They
Jordan
have no
tonight.
fight.
You know,
14 out of 34 from
I
the
have a
line.
question for you.
You have a question for me?
Yes. If you're guarding the Clippers, what would you do?
Regarding the Clippers?
Yeah, you're good. You're the coach now. What would you do?
I would probably pressure Chris Paul as much as I could.
No question. Did you see that tonight?
No.
Okay. What would you do on pick and roll situations with DeAndre Jordan?
Trap it.
Yeah, I mean,
You didn't like. That's my point. You have to still.
Chris
I would've-
Paul's got to be the guy that you got to cut off the head of the snake.
Yeah, but I'm
I
saying
would've
if you
said
take the
that
ball, take the
scouting
ball.
report was
If you
there.
double Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, if you're throwing the ball, he's not
Yeah,
going to do
without-
anything.
I'm sure Kevin McHale had those things on the board, but it comes to a point where you have to follow them, and I don't think the Rockets are following a game. I cannot imagine that if you said that in 5 seconds. Yeah, we're going to pressure Chris Paul. I thought of it. He thinks it. And then you don't do it. Someone has to carry out the game plan that you put down.
And Kenny has a great point because, Ernie, there's a certain thing called humiliation and embarrassment. And
Saw them both tonight.
no, but I'm saying if I'm Kevin McHale, I said, guys, we're giving up 120 points a game. In one game, you make a stand. Now, you might resort back to your old bad defensive ways, but just getting called out and getting humiliated, giving up 120 points a game, your professional pride should kick in and says, guys, we're giving up 120 points. But they're getting worse. They're giving up more points. So that tells me they aren't competing this series. And it started in game 1 after they had a week off. And they came in and they did not compete. And then even in game 2, they could have lost game 2.
115-109 was the win for the Rockets in Game 2, but they have not come close in Games 3 or 4. That is, I think that horse is still with us.
He's still alive.
Although it's
So I would
kind of tough to tell from that angle.
Yeah, Alex.